This is Matt from the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights and neozaz.com, and we are excited to announce that our first live call-in episode of the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights is coming Sunday, August 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The topic of the show is tips and tricks, so give us a call at 646-668-8383 Sunday the 14th to share your favorite tip or trick for Halloween Horror Nights. Ask about any kind of tips or tricks, or just talk about anything Halloween Horror Nights. We want you to be part of the show, so call in at 646-668-8383 August 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern and help us ramp up for the greatest Halloween event on Earth. We have a special participation gift for every caller that joins the show. Again, that is August 14th, 7 p.m. It's our live Tips and Tricks 2016 edition. We'll have a chat room and a live stream at neozaz.com/live that night, so listen along while we talk about our favorite tips and tricks, share your tips and tricks, talk about Halloween Horror Nights 26, and of course, take your calls in this live special. So one more time, this live special is happening Sunday, August 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. The number to call to be part of the show is 646-668-8383. So I hope you'll join us for this live special event, and I look forward to talking to you in that episode.
So what's my future?
You don't have one.
I see you, but you can't see me.
It's time for you to meet me. For over 2 decades, Halloween Horror Nights Orlando has mastered the art of the scare. We'll cover each year of this amazing event one by one, picking through the bones and uncovering its past. So join us now as we open another tomb inside the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights.
Welcome to the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights podcast. This is our instant reaction to another release, another big release, in my opinion, for another maze for Halloween Horror Nights 26. I am Matt, and joining me, as always, are my co-hosts Karen.
Hello.
And Quint.
Hello.
Now, you're probably hearing this a few days after the announcement, and you're wondering why are we calling it instant reaction? Because it's possibly taken me that long to get my notes together, because I had a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, this one's interesting.
Yep. So if for some reason you've forgotten in the past 2 days what the announcement was, I'm sure you haven't. I don't know how anyone could. It's Krampus, and this is a full-fledged 100% win for me. This is one I did call in my speculation, so you can go ahead and argue the Halloween one all you want. You can whatever detail or the technicalities you want to throw in there, it doesn't matter anymore. I got one. That's all I was hoping for. I'm done. Everything else will be icing on that cake that is Krampus, which is a phrase I did not expect to say tonight.
Didn't we all get this one though?
Yeah, I'm not saying we all didn't. I'm just saying I did.
He did.
It's all about him. It's a team effort. My team.
Effort, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I had a boss like that one time.
I think we all have a boss like that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just going to my speculation notes and Krampus right up there.
Yep.
Once that came out last year and it was tied to Legendary it was Legendary Pictures, which is tied to Universal. I think everybody pretty much had this on their radar. So this was I don't know if it was a surprise or just it seems well received. A lot of people seem excited about it. I am for sure.
I'm very stoked about it.
Me too.
We got a taste last year in California. They did a scare zone with Krampus, and I mean it wasn't the movie; it was just the historical Krampus thing. But and I don't know how I feel about it being movie rather than historical Krampus, because I can see having fun either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't when we talked about it in speculation. We kind of discussed how it might be. No, do we mention? Maybe I'm confusing it with that. It was a scare zone in Halloween, even though, like Quinn said, it wasn't the movie. Either way, I think I ended up kind of talking myself out why it couldn't be, or might not be a maze. And now that it was announced, I've gone back and watched it again. And I just have so many notes of things that I would hope to see. I'm not going to even say expect to see, because I've given up expecting things, because usually what is done is better than what I expect, and I walk away much happier. But I wrote down a lot of things that we could possibly see. And if they were to do my list, I mean, this would take like a half hour to walk through. I mean, there's just so much material to pull from this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
And they've made no bones about it being it's not like a story inspired by. It says in the press release and I believe the blog post, it is scenes plucked from the movie. So
Yep. You will basically be walking through their house.
Yeah.
In the movie. So I'm excited.
I am. Yeah. I'm just from the get go. It's got to be in a soundstage. There is a.
It's in the Shrek Theater.
It is.
It's in the Shrek.
Where was that announced?
On Twitter.
On Twitter. It was in the Shrek queue line, and it's like, that's curious to me, mostly because you'd assume, at least I assumed right away, that this would be the one where they're using the cold effects and they're super chilling.
That's what I was just gonna. That's where I was going with this. Yeah,
and that's why I was thinking it was going to be in a soundstage. So when I saw the same thing tweet that Karen saw, I was really surprised.
And they even mentioned that they will feature the facade of the house.
Yeah,
so
that's
really interesting.
That's interesting, because the Shrek Theater last year was Asylum in Wonderland 3D, and you walked into the comic book, so it was a very narrow entryway. So maybe they've redesigned. That was the first year they used a Shrek queue. Maybe they've learned a lot. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure they learned some things. Maybe they're going to redesign the entryway, and we'll actually get the full facade of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Or the entryway will be something outside, and once they get into a bigger area, you'll get the facade of the house.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
right. Because I mean, the snow monsters is one of the first monsters you see in the movie, right?
Yeah. It's once the blizzard hits, you got that not weird snowman, but the snowman and everything's blizzard covered. Yeah, I fully expect to see they're going to learn the flocking or whatever that stuff was technique that they used on Shady Brook on the house. I mean, I have to, again, maybe I'm wrong, but I have to imagine we're going to be entering the story during the blizzard.
Yeah, that's what I assume too, and that's why it would make sense if you were like walking through trees or something in the beginning, and then when you get to an more open area, they could do the facade.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Interesting.
We shall see.
There's a ton of stuff that they can do, though.
Yes. Yeah. I could not stop writing. I'll just go through like the highlights. Let's jump right to the end, because Krampus. There was a Krampus stilt walker character in Hollywood, which was really cool, but it wasn't the big, beefy beast-like one body that is in this movie, and the face on the one in this is more human than goat-like than that was. So I'm curious if it's going to be a stilt walker, or if it's going to be a big type of puppet like the Queen in Aliens vs. Predator in Hollywood, although that's much bigger in it, or is it going to be a big hulking guy in like the character costumes in a normal everyday park? It kind of seems like the size that Krampus could be.
So I'm thinking, I think that my guess, based on what I'm thinking of in a maze situation, is it's going to be some sort of hybrid stiltwalker type character.
Okay, yeah.
Where they're probably going to be harnessed to a wall somehow. So, because, that close confines stiltwalker, many people in a Congo line, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm thinking that they're going to be in one of those hybrid things where it's like it's half animatronic, half costume. Similar to the raptor thing.
Yeah, okay. Right.
And that it's going to be big, it's going to be in your face, and it's going to have a lot of controls so that they can react to the crowd, but it's going to be stationary-ish because of the limitations they're going to have.
We only see, really, when you think about Krampus, when we actually see Krampus face-to-face with people, we only really see his face and his hands. So that kind of, the hybrid thing you're talking about made me immediately think of Transformers, where they are stilt walkers, but they don't go very far. So they could do that. Yeah. Build on something like that concept. I'm starting to agree with Quint on that. Of course, what I agree with doesn't matter, because I don't have to build it. I just have to enjoy it, which is easy to do.
And I'd love to be able to build it, because I think building these things would be fucking awesome.
Oh God. I couldn't even imagine where to start.
I get so wrapped up in projects like this that I would get out of hand too fast. I'd be shooting for the moon and like hitting a bush. I mean, that's.
I think I would have to be on the actual physical building side of it, because if I was designing it, the builders would kill me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They would string me up and eviscerate me because I'm the same as you. When I start going on these things, my imagination starts going all these things, and if I'm not the one actually building it, then the design gets way out of hand.
Oh yeah, okay.
I can see that.
I see that actually. I do. Well, you guys know. I mean, with the the artwork project alone is a perfect example. I design, then build, and then be creative. So I'm not saying I'm a jack of any of those trades. I'm barely. I was gonna say I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm not even that good. But it's like I like doing the process beginning to end. I would start this in March and might be ready for 2018.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like I know when I plan my projects, I see stuff in my head, and it's like, okay, this is what I want. This is how I design it, and then I go out in my garage and okay, well, this is what I can actually do.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. That's Krampus. That is. I mean, I think everyone's looking forward to seeing how they pull that off, or what I say pull off. Maybe like they're gonna.
Yeah.
Like what they're gonna do is what I mean to say.
Yeah. I was thinking of them using like very large characters, like with Jason, but then I'm only 5'2", so those guys look gigantic. But next to you guys, they don't look quite as tall.
I'm 6 feet tall, and they were gigantic. I know because I ran full force into one.
Yeah,
this is true.
Well, they were big, but I'm not sure they would be like
not quite
hulking
big
monster.
enough.
Right?
Yeah, or something like that. So it makes more sense to have it a hybrid of a person and.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean it's got it's gonna be. It's not going to be a made up person, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah.
So.
And I think it's going to be much better as a maze just because of the winter effects.
I would just be. I'm sitting here. I was watching the movie. I made way too many notes for an instant reaction. I'm sitting there writing different points of just the living room. I would be happy if we just walk through room of the living room at different points in the movie.
Right.
In fact,
or even just the first floor.
I would love. This is just like this. This is something they could do. It's actually easy, but it's not a casting nightmare. It's just too many people to cast for one room. I would love I would love to walk in the Facade and like just you kind of like just like a dark nondescript room, maybe even a dark curtain room, and you make like a right turn and you are in the middle of the Walmart scene where they're fighting over all the gifts.
Oh God!
I would love this to be like scene for scene house where you experience that. What is it? It's like Mega Mart or something. It's not Walmart, but it's obviously Walmart at Christmas. I would. That's how far back my notes started. Like in the first 7 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, and my first thing went to comparing to Hollywood, right? Because it's not the movie, but it's Krampus versus Krampus, and I'm thinking the first thing I thought was, wow, they're going to use a winter effect. And we were trying to imagine summer in Southern California heat in September or in October. Yeah, it was in September, October, or whatever. And it was hot as balls out. And it's like the Christmas effect just not quite there because I'm sweating in my ass crack.
Yeah, that was hot. We managed to go at a hot night. That was... God, what else do I want to... I want to be just choosing my notes and not sit here all night. I talked about the living room. I mean, we may go in and out of it throughout it, but it's like I don't know which one to pick that I want to see. I mean, I would love to see where they're boarding up all the walls, or windows, but I would also love to see the gifts and tree on fire because I think they could pull it off, and be safe. I would love to see. Actually, the thing I would love on my wish list would be Like at the height of the living room where the window is broken open and like his henchmen or goblins come in. But moreover than that, I'd like to see the ant and the guy, Howard, the guy from Anchorman, be sucked out the window, like alternating characters. The ant on one shot and then Howard on another shot gets sucked out the window, pulled by the chains like in the movie. I'd love to see them pull that off. That would be like my wish list thing, I think, maybe.
So the flaming tree that you just mentioned brings up a really interesting contrast that they could pull off if they're doing the winter.
Yeah, right.
With a really hot fire in the middle of it. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the elves because
elves. Yes, thank you. That's
freaky.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to see some of the elves. Like reading through some of the Twitter posts that they posted right after the announcement.
Yeah.
We'll have the gingerbread, the elves. You'll be in the attic with
a
all
goddamn clown.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing. I know that's going to be in there. Well, that was even featured in the video.
Yeah.
And that's it's got to be. I got to imagine it's got to be eating somebody when we see it, or else what's the point?
Yes.
I mean, that's its thing.
Right.
The gingerbread man. There's like, I had two things for the gingerbread man. I mean, I would totally expect to see a very basic animatronic of them stacked kind of on top of each other with a nail gun and have compressed air shooting at you as you walk by.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That seems like something they would do. I also am kind of wondering if there's a possible gap, a guest activator prop where they have the gingerbread man that's on the chain, and if you pull it, something else in that room happens.
Oh.
Interesting.
Because when the kid pulled it, he got sucked out the chimney. Well, that's not going to happen. But if you've seen the movie, you see it and you want to grab it because you're expecting something to happen. So if you do that and maybe like, I don't know, something else behind you, directly behind you happens. There was
so much
for
them to do. Yeah, the visuals in that movie were pretty. I mean, the movie is not that great to start with, but the visuals were really good.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
Come
on, it's
right up there with Santa Sleigh.
No, wait, hey, let's not get silly here.
No.
Now you're just talking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind Krampus, but it's no Santa Sleigh. But that was one of the things that I sent to Matt when I didn't think I was going to be on this podcast, because I know that Mike is a huge WWE fan, so I'm like hoping that there's just some nod to Goldberg in that maze somewhere.
That would be cool.
Because the stories are very short, or the whole stories are fairly simple. Santa going bad, or Santa's bad side, whatever. Krampus versus Goldberg, but some nod to Goldberg, and there would be awesome.
One room I'm really curious if they decide to do, because I think, well, if anyone can do it, they can. Is if in the middle of all this, roughly in the middle of all this, we have a room based after the animated short of the grandmother story, because that is part of the story of the movie.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, that would be neat.
That'd be different to have everything like real life, which it is, and then all of a sudden you're in a cartoon just for a room.
Yeah,
and then back to if they were to follow the story chronologically, who knows.
Yeah, and the toy box at the end.
Oh God, I have that. There has to be a toy attack room. I mean, how can there not be?
That's gonna be wicked.
Yep. And I'm really.
Can you imagine again being one of the builders or designers of that room? That'd be so much fun. How many evil toys can I create?
And the snow globes have to be represented. I mean, maybe that's the last thing we see. Maybe we walk through Krampus's rack of snow globes. Who knows?
Or the snow globe thing I was thinking was more if they do like almost a mirror room and you realize you're the one in the snow globe.
Oh, maybe you walk. Yeah, that could be. The exit is you walk being in the snow globe. That is such a big, even though it's the shortest scene of the movie, more or less, it is the ending of the movie. That is the wrap up of the movie. They're not going to ignore it. I'm just curious how they're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go.
That would actually be really cool to walk through a glass globe, and they made a gigantic Krampus hand holding it that you can see through the glass above you.
Yeah.
Karen.
So, I mean, that was what I was thinking, right? It'd be, it's a room where they're doing the whole snowing effect that we know that they can do, and you look up and it's snowing coming from the claws that are just reaching over you.
Right.
That'd be just cool.
So yeah, I am looking very forward to this. I mean, more than when me and the rest of the world speculated that this was going to be a house. Now that it's a maze, now that it's confirmed, it's just so much visuals to play with that I can't wait to see what they decide to pick and what they do with it.
Yeah,
and
I hope they keep some of the comedic elements.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine they're not going to. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think it was the blog I read. It was the blog or the press release did mention horror humor like that as a phrase, like a slash phrase. So it's been pointed out.
Yeah, and I'm just that's one of the things that I hope gets translated well is the humor that was in the movie, because there was a lot of really good chuckles.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Just tonight, not even an hour ago, I talked to Joe. Anyone that's listened to the show from the beginning, Joe was the one who came to the opening night party with me that Quint couldn't make, and had a lot of fun. And big Halloween Horror Nights fan, big horror fan, huge Krampus fan. This is the thing he's been waiting and hoping for, and we were just talking about it briefly. And so I'll probably talk to him a little, obviously more before this comes, but I've yet to talk or read anything negative about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, everything that I saw, even on the Twitterscape, was everybody looked like this was one of the ones that they'd been expecting, but they were happy that it was happening.
Right. Yeah. So,
I mean, it's good. It isn't, it is a borrowed IP or whatever we call
branded,
it. But branded IP.
Yep.
Thank you. But it's a new one, and it's something that and it's kind of a new one. It's also in the ludicrous files, right?
Yep.
It's not a, when you're talking about Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, those guys, those are all real slasher films, and they take themselves really serious. Well, they appear to take themselves fairly seriously. This one didn't at all. So. And I'm looking forward to it. I
like the melding of the holidays too. This isn't the first time Christmas has been featured. In fact, we're going to be talking real soon about one that was featured in Carnival of Carnage. The Psycho Scarapy house that year was called Home for the Holidays, and it was the inmates of Shady Brook escaping and terrorizing a neighborhood, or even one particular house, really, during Christmas. So they took the Christmas theme, turned it upside down, and did a great job with it. It's actually, and we haven't talked about that. We haven't done that episode yet. I'm going to talk a lot about that because it was one of my favorite. It's what has put Psycho Scarapy and up in the league with Body Collectors to me for their original IPs. I think it was that house alone.
HR Blood and Guts also had a Christmas.
I was just going to say HR Blood and Guts was a lot of fun because it had all the holidays with the Halloween twist on it. Some worked, some didn't. The July 4th one, I still don't quite know.
Yeah, I don't quite get that one yet either.
Well, actually, it did have Abe Lincoln attack us with an axe, I think. So that was kind of cool. But I mean, no, but that was. The house in general was a highlight. And some of the rooms just weren't as strong as the others, I should say. It's hard to say anything's ever bad at Halloween Horror Nights in the past 10 years, but some things are just better than others. And that house was a great maze in and of itself. Just some rooms excelled above the others, and Christmas was one of them in that year. Yes,
that was a good year for Christmas. But yeah, Thanksgiving still trumped.
Yeah, well, that's because of the zombie Pocahontas.
Well, was it the zombie Pocahontas, or was it there was a chick in a red corset?
Who knows? She could have been anything.
Does it matter?
Yeah, she could have been any holiday, really. There was a zombie Pocahontas, so I can't imagine what other holiday she'd be in.
Exactly.
Now I really want to kind of recap Hollywood with Quint now, because you're going still, right?
Yeah, so I am going. I have decided that I believe the opening nights are the same night.
Oh, okay.
So I'll probably be going to Orlando first, and I'm happy about that because, the show's mostly about Orlando side, and I enjoy Orlando's stuff a lot, and there's so many things that are being done in both parks this year that I would like to see Orlando's first and then do the comparison after.
That was what my question was really leading to, about how much there is. They're both doing Halloween 2. They're both doing Exorcist. Now we learn they're both doing Krampus. Orlando's doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre interpretation of the original film. Hollywood's doing Blood Brothers, which is a completely different story. But then Hollywood's also doing Freddy versus Jason from Orlando last year. So, like, there's not, apart from, if you really want to make the stretch of the, not even a stretch, but right now, all that is different is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre maze.
Yep. Yeah. But, I mean, we've got, another 4 mazes to go?
Yep. And I say it's the only thing different, but we've learned firsthand, even though they're the same property, that they're not the same exact maze, so something's going to be different.
Their interpretations are always a bit different.
Yeah, I'm
looking forward to it.
By the buildings and the situations, or whatever you want to call it, the resources. I don't know. I'm not sure. What's that?
I mean, the creative teams.
That's true too. Yep. Yeah. As much as they do work together, when it comes down to putting it all together in the end, you're right. That is 2 different teams.
Yeah, and I mean, just Walking Dead last year is a great example of this.
There you go. That's what I didn't even think of that, but you're absolutely right.
You know, they did 2 interpretations of the same season of Walking Dead. Some of the rooms were very similar, and you know, I give it to Hollywood. They knocked it out of the park. They did an amazing job.
True.
You know, their interpretation, that first room interpretation where you walk in and the throat cutting scene. 2 totally different things. Orlando had a dummy where the throat was being cut, and Hollywood had a real guy, and he was spraying stuff out of his water out of his neck at you. Right?
Yep.
It was way better effect down in L.A. I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the differences and what the creative teams do.
Yep, that's a good example. So that's true. Yeah, that will be good to hear about. I don't think I'm going, but I always say I'm not doing something Halloween Horror Nights till Halloween Horror Nights comes around. Then all of a sudden it's take my money.
Yeah.
Get me on a plane.
Here's my credit card.
Yeah, exactly. What else? I guess I shouldn't go through all my notes. It's just going to take forever. I did want to ask you guys where this falls on your list of what you want to see. Now, we're probably going to do our usual pattern depending on where the mazes are, but as far as your, not necessarily the order you're going to see it, but in wanting to see it, where does this fall of the houses that we know so far?
Let's see.
Well, I know for me it'll probably be, I'd put it at like number 2
under the Chance House.
Yep. Yeah. I wish I
wrote down this answer and pulled it out of an envelope like an old Johnny Carson bit. No, that was a joke bit, but like one of those mind readers from the 70s, and just because I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be higher than number 3 because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is almost tied for number 1. I mean, Chance edges it out just barely, but. Yeah, probably number 3.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the middle too. I think it's Chance, Texas Chainsaw, and then kind of Krampus, Exorcist, and Walking Dead are all kind of hovering in the same spot right now.
Oh, see, and Krampus beats Walking Dead and Exorcist for me, no problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mostly because I think the visuals in Krampus are going to be more fun than the Exorcist visuals. I think the Exorcist is going to be a lot more cerebral and a lot more of the same thing because there's not many scenes they can actually do in Exorcist, right? And Walking Dead, well, we've discussed Walking Dead.
Yes,
I'm kind of over the mazes and stuff. So yeah, I think this is going to give the creative teams a lot of interesting work to do, and I think that they're going to do a lot of cool new stuff that we haven't seen before in this maze, and that's why it's definitely right up there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I still don't. Yeah, I still can't order those last 3 though.
And I mean, if Texas Chainsaw Massacre was not the first horror movie I ever saw and like the one that really sucked me into the genre, I probably might be a little different, but yeah, Texas Chainsaw's got to be right up there.
I just watched that. When did I come back from Mississippi? 3 weeks ago? I just watched that on the plane again. I forget how damn good that movie is.
Isn't it?
It is. It holds up. It's like, what, 70 something? I don't even know what. 70, I want to say 3.
76 or something?
That's
73?
probably closer, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll look it up quick. That still holds up. I mean, because it's 74. So that's,
okay.
God, how many? That's a long time.
There were
40 years. It still holds up because it's apart from the cars and the clothing, there's nothing really dated about it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
pure horror.
Twisted.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And it has that great mix of ramping up the fear, that cerebral sort of what the hell is going to happen, and the visceral gore and noise and just mayhem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a reason it's a masterpiece.
Exactly. Yep. I am loving the homework Halloween Horror Nights is giving us this year.
Yeah, me too.
I've now watched Halloween 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Krampus. No need to watch The Walking Dead. That's all fresh in my head. I do need to get on The Exorcist. I do have to travel one more time before Halloween Horror Nights starts, so I'll definitely get that in on a plane at the very least. Maybe even watch it at home on a proper screen before then. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the stuff I've had to watch this year.
Yeah, I got a few that I need to queue up yet, and I'll probably watch one on the way to Orlando when I'm flying.
Yeah, that's perfect, actually. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking, not to spring this on you, but I did kind of have this in my notes, and I forgot to discuss it beforehand. Since we're talking about Krampus, and it is a Christmas-themed horror/humor movie, and we did already talk about our favorite Christmas horror/humor movie, Santa's Sleigh. We've said it, I think, in the speculation episode when we properly opened season 2. We talked about our upcoming Christmas special for 2016. We're going to record a commentary track for Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah.
Greatest Christmas movie ever made, in my opinion.
I agree.
So far, I have right here in the studio 3 copies to give away. We'll probably have more by the time it's all said and done, but they're DVD. I don't even know if this is on Blu-ray. It doesn't matter. It can be on VHS. It's still the best Christmas movie ever made. Right. But I do have 3 brand new factory sealed DVDs. How about, since we're talking about Krampus and its Christmas theme, do you want to use this opportunity to give one away finally?
Oh yeah, and the way that you do it, whoever contacts us first, either through Twitter, Facebook, email, phone call, whatever, and tells us what the escape clause was for the secret house, you get the first copy.
Oh, the chicken out phrase for the
chicken out phrase for the extreme maze that never happened.
Yeah, I'll clarify it perfectly here in the terms we use. This is from the Severe Fear House episode we did. It was the extreme house, the one where you're going to have to sign a waiver to enter, and you were alone for part of it. And if you wanted to chicken out, there was a phrase that you had to say. So be the first person after this episode post. Well, obviously you can't hear to do this until this post. Be the first person to tweet us that phrase, and then I will send you a message over Twitter getting your contact information, how to get you a brand new copy of Santa's Sleigh. You will not be sorry you took the time to tweet that phrase to us.
All right. You will have enjoy every second.
I almost want to do just to have an excuse to watch it twice, kind of do like a run through, like a practice session of our commentary of that.
Why do we need an excuse to watch it?
I was just,
that's what I mean. I know, right? That is kind of stupid. Now that I say it,
I was just going to say, we will all 3 be in the same house. We could
we do need
the commentary that day.
Yeah,
we'll release it Christmas, but
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's what I thought we were going to do.
Oh, I've had worse ideas.
Wait, what?
That was a compliment somewhere in there.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, okay. I'm not going to recap that. You heard what to do. You probably already know the phrase. You may have already tweeted it.
They're already tweeting.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to have more to give away. We'll probably I was thinking we'll give away one when we do our live call-in show, which is still coming up. In fact, we'll probably discuss that after this is said and done. This is this week's episode. It's out a little bit early, as you probably are aware if you've downloaded it the second it came out, but it's our instant reaction, and it'll do for the episode this week, and then we're climbing fast into the event coverage. We were just discussing this, not to bore everybody with the details, but we actually got to start picking and choosing exactly what we want to get done before September, because we're going to if we're going to outdo what we did last year. In fact, if we're even going to match the coverage we did last year, we're pretty much going to be done here very soon with season 2 until we get into our 26th coverage here.
Yep.
I guess that's it for this episode. I mean, that's not it. I have so many notes. I'm just not going to go through them.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh wait! I have to go back. There's got to be. I'm sorry not to go back to the house, but you were just, and I meant to say this when you were talking about the contrast of heat to cold. If they decide to do the kind of final, not the final scene, but the finale of the scene where the big porthole in the hell is what I'm calling it.
Ooh.
If they do that, that's another opportunity to do that, what we were just discussing with the fire and ice type deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can't imagine something that pivotal to the story not being represented somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the Shrek ride. They already have heat effects plumbed into that whole building.
I don't remember if there's heat in that one or not.
Yeah, the dragon breath.
Yeah, I don't know, but did we get blasted by the heat on that? Maybe. I don't remember.
Maybe. I don't remember. But anyway,
I can write it.
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, like we were saying this whole episode, there's so many visual things that they can do with this that it's gonna be really fun to see.
Oh God, I can't stop reading my notes because I want to talk about something else. I expect there to be some of the most creative audio elements we've ever heard, especially with those bells and those chains. I mean, I think we're gonna be.
You've got to hear that as soon as you walk in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be, and plus the walking on the room above you. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta stop. We're starting all over again.
I know it's crazy how much stuff we could do.
Yeah. They could do. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I'm gonna. This is one of the few houses that I think I'm going to actively look for Easter eggs as well, just to throw that out there.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to look for an iPad with that little elf Christmas story. If that's it, was that a real thing or is that something made up for the movie? I'm way off on my. Idea. Is it made up? Because I just don't know kids' Christmas specials from the past 15 years at all.
I honestly don't know.
Yep. So I'm going to look for that iPad. I'm going to look for hoof prints in the snow. What else was I going to look for? We're going to look for a Mega Mart bag, because if they don't have the Mega Mart scene, they're at least going to have a bag somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, why are you guys not stopping me?
Because listening to you dig deeper and deeper, it's kind of not so bad.
Okay. That's what I'm talking
Plus,
about.
you fucked me over earlier on something with a left-handed compliment, so I'm just going to keep going.
Oh.
I don't know.
There's a real good possibility that happened. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's wrap up because otherwise we're going to ramble.
I know. Yep. So, okay. What's that?
Too late.
Yeah, no kidding. Maybe my wrap-ups are ramblings. So
that's the best part of this show.
That's why we want to get to it.
I shouldn't have laughed at that. All right. That is it for this episode. Again, not again, but I won't go through the details, but remember the giveaway. If you haven't already tweeted, do it quick. See if you can win yourself a DVD copy of the greatest Christmas movie ever, Santa's Sleigh, to prepare for our Christmas commentary. We'll be back with another episode. I absolutely positively have to get 17 Carnival of Carnage in this year. That was the one I had in mind pretty much when we started this show that I wanted to talk about, and I've amped myself up to getting it into season 2, not thinking we'd ever be pressed for time leaving off at 11, but we're getting there. But 17 is going to be covered. Hopefully that'll be the next thing we do. We may even start doubling up on episodes if we start having specials for instant reactions. Of course, we got a call in we want to do. There's going to be, the release has got to come sooner than later, or it's coming closer. And we had some other things in the pipeline that are about to come out. So we might start doubling up here soon. The point I'm trying to make is we will at least get 17 coverage covered, and we'll definitely, I think we're going to have an episode almost every week, if not every week from now till 26 starts with, and we get into our coverage. So next episode will be something, hopefully 17, but we got a lot to get in before the event starts. And we certainly, I think, are all determined to do that. So there's my rambling. You happy? I just realized I'm looking at the waveforms here and going, man, did I just talk a lot without anyone saying anything?
Yep.
All right. Well, with that rambling, I will say thank you for listening, and we will see you in that next episode. Thank you for listening to the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights podcast. The Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights is a neozaz internet entertainment production. For more great podcasts and original entertainment, visit our website at neozaz.com. The Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights is not affiliated with nor endorsed by Universal Studios Florida. All Halloween Horror Nights properties, icons, titles, events, and related items are property, trademark, and copyright Universal Studios or their respective trademark and copyright holders. For more Halloween Horror Nights coverage, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/neozazpodcast and follow our Twitter account at neozaz. To help support the series and all the work we do at Neozaz, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/neozaz. Thanks for listening.